Hello, this is Dr. Kyle Kermott, and this is a short video that I hope will be helpful in your process of trying to find a therapist. When looking for a therapist, there's a lot of options out there, and it's hard to know where to start. So I have a few topics that I hope will point you in the right direction for finding a therapist that'll be helpful for you and will help you start to feel better. When I think about finding a therapist, I think about two arenas. The first are external factors, and the second are internal factors. Of the external factors, there are things like the therapist's credentials. Of course, I'm a little biased, but I do think that a doctor of psychology, whether it's a Psy.D like myself or a PhD, will have the most experience and training for treating mental health issues. But you'll also be able to find some great people who are masters in social work, marriage and family therapists, or licensed professional counselors. The other thing to think about are, of course, the availability for the therapist. Do they see people on evenings and weekends? Where they're located? How easy it's going to be to get to their office? One of the questions to be thinking about is how you want to pay for the treatment. Insurance is a very easy way to pay for therapy, and it's pretty cost effective. However, there are some drawbacks to using insurance. The first is that the insurance companies will like to place some limits on the type of therapy you can do, how frequently you can see your therapist, and sometimes if your coverage runs out, the insurance company will terminate the treatment early. Another thing, unfortunately, too, is that the insurance company will want to receive a diagnosis, and sometimes that diagnosis will be going on your medical record. Of course, if you don't want to use insurance, you can be paying for the therapy yourself, but I would encourage you to talk with your therapist about whether or not they offer a sliding scale, if they reduce the fee based on how frequently you come in, and then also talk with your therapist about the ways they receive payment, whether by check, credit card, PayPal, Venmo, and all of the more modern ways you can pay these days. Now that we've talked about some of the external factors in picking a therapist, I want to talk about internal ones, and two really main ones come to my mind. The first is I would encourage you to be thinking about, when you're talking with a therapist, whether or not you feel like this is a person you can build a relationship with. When going to therapy, it's a little bit different than going to a physician or a dentist, physical therapist, because really the main part of therapy is the relationship you can build between yourself and that therapist. So you want to be asking yourself, do I feel comfortable with this person? Do I feel like I can trust them? Do they seem compassionate, empathic, open to what I have to say? Those are all the things you want to be asking yourself, because ideally, even if the therapy is brief, you want to feel like this is a person that you can talk openly with, who feels like they support you, and it feels like it's a positive, supportive relationship. The final thing I want to talk about when it comes to picking a therapist is to encourage you to talk to multiple people. Because therapy is an important relationship that's being built between you and another person, I encourage you to talk with a few different therapists, see what feels right, and when you're doing it, feel free to ask questions, raise concerns you have. Because what's exciting for me is to talk with the people that come to see me about what they're wanting with therapy, what they're hoping to get out of it, what concerns they have. And also, I always encourage people to give me feedback. What can I be doing differently? What feels a little bit better? And by building the relationship that way, by being open to some of those questions, I feel like that sets a therapy on the right track of building something that can really be beneficial for you and really helping you feel better.